Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's morning market call. My name is Ian Joseph, market analyst at HFM. Quick disclaimer before we do begin: the information herein is only meant for educational and informative purposes only. None of it should be construed as investment advice. Trading the financial markets do carry a degree of risk, but don't worry, I'm here to help you look at the market the right way. Must be Mwanga. Thank you for being the first one to join the stream today. Now, I want to go over to the promotions that we do have currently ongoing, whereby the score and draw currently is active. When you go over to the bonuses and promotions, once again on our platform, we do have several offerings at the moment. And the base, the resistance is going to be the score and draw, whereby you have an opportunity to Indeed, the score and draw promotion is currently ongoing. We did start this competition earlier this month on 1st of November, but you still have time to today, whereby it's going to conclude on 28th of February 2026, whereby number one, BMW 2025 4 Series. Number two, we are going to have a UK Premier League trip paid for two, all expenses, flights, accommodations, tickets. 4 people are going to walk home with 55-inch TV. 20 people are going to be gifted officially PL jerseys, and 60 traders are going to be credited with $200 in their accounts. Go over to the HFM platform, log in, join the score and draw. You trade and earn positions, then allocate them across different prizes. Now we are going to have monthly lucky draws in the next 9 days, 14 hours and counting, currently as it stands. The Rift Valley Pip Stop Tour is about to commit. This is going to be round 2 of the Pip Stop Tour, whereby on the 25th and 26th of November, we will be at the Sunshine Hotel in Kericho. Then on the 27th and 28th, we shall be in Eldoret at the KVD Auditorium, and we're going to conclude the Rift Valley Pip Stop Tour with 29th and 30th of November at the Aturukan in Kitale. I do have physical lessons. The next one is going to commence on the 24th of November till 28th of November. This is going to be at the Oval Building in Westlands off Ring Road, 5th floor. If you click on the tab, it's going to bring you to, if you're a new client, you register for the classes. If you are an existing client also, you do register for the classes. Once you do, click register now, an email is going to pop up on your end confirming you have registered. We also do have webinars, whereby if you're not available physically, you can be joining our webinars. The next one is going to start. I'm going to start it on 24th of November, where this will be an introduction session. This is going to be the next 3 days, 8 hours and counting, and it's usually 3 sessions a week that I do conduct. Now, earnings season is almost over. We do have 2 companies remaining to release their earnings, Abercrombie and Fitch and HP, who are supposed to release their earnings before the month does end. And then we are going to have Salesforce, HP, releasing their earnings in December. Also, ThyssenKrupp are going to release their earnings, and we are going to conclude with Broadcom for the year. We did see Nvidia release their earnings yesterday, which came in better than anticipated at $57 billion, which was quite interesting. That was almost 66% growth on year release. Moving over to the economic calendar, yesterday we did have NFP. We did stream it live. If you were able to join it on our Instagram page, we did stream the NFP release live. Now, these were September numbers, whereby the previous numbers were revised from 22,000 to negative 4,000, meaning actually people lost jobs. There were no jobs created prior to September. The forecast was 50,000 jobs. The data actually came in better than anticipated at 119,000 jobs. Looking at unemployment, it did tick to the upper side to 4.4%. Average hourly earnings did move to the downside, whereby they were paying people lesser compared to the other years. Now, if I click on the NFP report title here, It's going to bring me a tab of read the official report. If I do click on it, it's going to open a new tab, and this was the official document that was released at that particular moment in time. Now, looking at it, the total non-farm payroll employment did edge up to 119,000 in September, but has shown little change since April. The US Bureau of Labor Statistics did report. The unemployment rate at 4.4% did change little in September, and employment continued to trend up in healthcare, food services, and drinking places, and social assistance. Job losses occurred in transportation and warehousing and in the federal government. Now, quick note here is, as a result of the federal government shutdown, publication of September data was delayed by more than 6 weeks because of a lapse in federal appropriations. Collection of September data for the household survey has been completed in accordance with our normal schedule prior to the Fed government shutting down. Now, September estimates from the establishment survey include both data collected from our normal schedule prior to the shutdown and also September data that businesses self-reportedly electronically during the shutdown. As a result, the establishment collection survey collection rate was at 80.2% for this initial release of September 2025. Now, this is most important here, whereby the BLS will not publish an October 2025 employment situation news release. So NFP numbers for October are not going to be released. We are going to wait for now November's number coming out early December. I do believe it's going to be on 5th of December, whereby we are going to receive the final, we are going to receive NFP for November numbers. The establishment survey data for October 2025, once again, will be published with the November 2025 data. So it's going to come out together. Household survey are not collected for the October 2025 reference period due to, once again, a lapse in the appropriations and will not be collected retroactively. For both surveys, the collection period for November 2025 data will be extended and extra processing time will be needed. The employment situation news release for November 2025 is scheduled to be published on Tuesday, December 16th, 2025. This is going to be around 4:30 p.m. local East African time. Now, as a result of that information, we did see the next FOMC meeting, which is due to the Fed Reserve is going to have their final meeting of the year in the next 19 days. The statistics have been playing around quite interestingly of late. Right now, as it stands, we have a 64.6% chance that the Fed Reserve would hold the interest rates between 375 to 400 basis points, while there's only a 35.4% chance that we'll see interest rates being taken further down to 350 to 375 basis points. Now, looking at the economic calendar, today we do have retail sales that has just been released for the British pound. It's actually come out negative. Things are not looking good in the British region currently as it stands, and we did see inflation numbers move to the downside last week. It was earlier this week, to be exact, Wednesday of this week, we received data for the British pound, whereby inflation numbers did come out lower than anticipated. We are looking at retail sales also coming even further down than anticipated at negative 1.1, meaning people are not buying at the retail level in the British region. Now, we have been looking at data. They are supposed to release their budget next week on Wednesday. Looking at it currently at the moment, we are not anticipating good numbers. There are actually leaks of up to 20 to 30 billion pounds of a deficit in the budget currently as it stands. And we are going to look at the charts of GBP. What does this mean for me as a trader? How can I use this information to make money? Later on, in the next 1 hour, 20 minutes, we are going to have PMI data coming in for Germany, where if this data usually comes above 50, it means that the economy is generally expanding. If it comes out below 50, it means the economy is generally shrinking. This is one of the leading news releases because businesses are the first people to react to changing market conditions. If anything was to happen to an economy, the first people to be affected are usually the businesses. Now, looking at it currently at the moment, we are anticipating numbers to come out better than anticipated. Coming above 50 region, which means it's expanding. But we have been looking at Germany also contracting in the past, whereby look at how Volkswagen has been laying off people. Even Daimler has been laying off people as a result of the poor global economy that we are witnessing currently at the moment. We are going to have ECB President Lagarde's speech at a similar time. We want to listen to her. She is the head of the European Central Bank. She usually tells us where the economy is generally headed to. If she has forward guidance of things are positive, we anticipate the euro to be stronger. If she has forward guidance of the euro not heading in the right direction, then it means we are looking at more selling opportunities. I do have an inquiry from Langata Baby. When are you coming to Kericho? We shall be in Kericho once again on if you go over to the events section, we will be in Kericho on the 25th and 26th of November at the Sunshine Hotel. Once again, it shall be at the Sunshine Hotel. It's along the Kisumu Busia Road. Going back to the economic calendar, whereby we were looking at the PMI. In the next 1 hour, 48 minutes, we are going to have PMI coming in for the Euro region. We do anticipate numbers coming above 50. When the numbers usually come below 50, then that means we are anticipating the economy to be shrinking currently at the moment. But if it does come out above 50, it means we are anticipating the economy to move in the right direction. During New York session, we are going to have PMI for the United States. This is the prelim. Now, the prelim usually has the most amount of impact. Where the previous number was 52.5, we are looking at a 52.0 as the forecast. If the numbers come out greater than 52, it means we need to look for more buying opportunities on the dollar. If it comes out lesser than 52, it means we need to look out for more selling opportunities on the dollar. Before the day does end, in the next 13 hours, 17 minutes to be exact, we are going to have the commitment of traders being updated for the first time in almost 8 weeks. Quite interesting. I am a fan favorite of the commitment of traders report. This is usually the CFTC, whereby if I go to market data and economic analysis under the commitment of traders, especially gold, this information helps me look at how institutions have been positioning themselves in the past. The last time these numbers was updated was back in September of 30th. We are going to have the first update. It's usually a weekly update on these contracts. We want to see how institutions have been faring on. And I would want to take note of these numbers, whereby the last release we had 184,199 positions being net long and only 38,900 being net short. The changes were 14,000 positions being offloaded from 184,000. I want to see come later on this day how these numbers are going to play. This gives me an insight of how institutions are pushing money. Not only in gold, you can also look at it in currencies, whereby you can look at how investors are buying the Canadian dollar, the Swiss franc, any currency that you can think of. Let's say, for example, the British pound. For this one, you want to deal with the asset managers and institutions. This is the tab that usually pushes the most amount of money in the financial markets. The institutions, how have they been buying or selling into the markets? Now, this is the perfect opportunity for you to trade these probabilities, and you do have the Shield 500 account, whereby I would want to look at this video, this Swahili video.
Kijana wa Kimasai, kama vile Mmasai anapotumia ngao kama ulinzi kwenye jamii yake, ndivyo hivyo HFM tunakuletea Shield 500. Hii inafanya vipi kazi? Wewe kama mteja mpya wa HFM, unapofungua account leo, kuchagua Shield 500 kama account yako, mtaji wako wa kwanza usiozidi $500 utakaouweka kwenye account ile utakuwa insured. Endapo utapata hasara yoyote ndani ya siku 25 za kwanza za kutrade, HFM itarejesha ile hasara uliyoipata ili uzidi kutrade. Ofa hii inapatikana ndani ya siku 10 tu baada ya kufungua account. Fungua account leo, anza leo, mtaji wako umelindwa. HFM Shield 500. See you in the trading room.
Beautiful. You do have an opportunity to open the Shield 500 account, whichever within the first 10 days of registering. If you deposit anywhere between $10 and $500, whatever losses you're doing within the first 25 days, we are going to refund you up to $500 in profit. Yesterday was NFP. I would want to share a bit of motivation here, whereby it was a really good blue day, considering this was NFP. I would want, and I did talk about this. I do talk about this consistently on our sessions, whereby towards the start of the week, we were analyzing, and we have been doing this. If you can go back into the previous morning market calls, updated on our YouTube channel, We started with a plan, we stuck with the plan, and the plan played off. It's not rocket science. You can make money from Forex, but you have to plan. For every minute you spend planning in trading, you save $10 in trading. Now, looking at it from this perspective, I did have a Fibonacci level from this high to this low, anticipating prices will continue moving further to the downside. Prices did tap into the 50, the golden retracement region, and we did execute this is historical data. This is not financial advice, but looking at it currently at the moment, the rule book did play out nicely. We were anticipating a weakness in the gold region and a strength in the dollar as a result. Look at US dollar index. We have been seeing the dollar index rise quite aggressively for the entire of the week. Looking at the lows that was made on 14th up to where we are currently at the moment, prices did shoot quite aggressively to the upper side, and this gave me confirmation that the dollar Sorry about that. Sorry about the internet connection. We can continue looking at the dollar index. We were analyzing the USD index, whereby it did move quite aggressively to the upper side, almost 1.15%. Ever since for the past few trading hours, this is almost 100 trading hours, prices has moved almost 1.16% to the upper side. Now, looking at silver has been tanking also to the downside. This was one of the major confluences I had to execute positions on gold, looking at more selling opportunities whereby prices are making lower lows, lower highs. We have just broken the most recent lower low formed on price action. This is around $49.323 an ounce. Once again, this is not financial advice, but if you do close well below this region, I would consider looking at selling opportunities potentially for prices heading back down to $47.9 an ounce on the silver metal. If you have any asset that you want me to look into, kindly put it in the chat section. I don't look at GBP USD. GBP USD, we were looking at selling opportunities, and it has played according to the rule book, whereby if we do zoom out on the charts, we did see prices make this impulse to the downside. We did have a Fibonacci level from this high, from this most recent swing high to this swing low, whereby prices tapped onto that region. Currently at the moment, we're having a short-term retracement. I would also want to have another Fibonacci from this high. This was the high that started the whole move, whereby prices did tap into the 61.8, closed below. We had a retest, and I would consider if prices do move to the downside, considering we have had retail sales come out in the past 20 minutes ago. We did see prices move quite aggressively to the upper side, to the downside. If I can look at a 1 minute time frame, zoom out on my charts, you see this massive candlestick. This was the result of the retail sales that we did see on British pound, whereby prices moved almost 25 pips to the downside as a result of that information. Today is a Friday once again. Very important to practice risk management. Probabilities are always going to be there. The most important thing is risk management, how you conduct yourself within the trading space. That's going to be it for me. I shall see you when you see me next. That's going to be on Monday. Have a blessed day.